Lately, video on the iPhone has gotten surprisingly good. We now get ProRes on the iPhone, which gives you clean image that's easily to color and push in post. And the fact that we can shoot 120 frames per second in 4K also in ProRes is honestly crazy, because not every real camera can do that. So it makes you wonder, can the iPhone actually compete with a real camera? In this video we are going to find out. We will compare footage shot in ProRes versus the standard codec, see how big the real difference is, test how the iPhone handles low light, and compare everything to a full-frame camera, the ZV-E1. The iPhone gives you two recording options: regular HEVC and ProRes. HEVC is simple and convenient. You get a ready-to-use image right away, it takes very little storage, and it looks pretty good. ProRes, on the other hand, creates huge files, and sometimes on the iPhone screen the clips might even look similar. So why bother with ProRes at all? If you put both clips side by side, the difference becomes clear. The standard codec looks very sharp and contrasty, but the fine details can look a bit too digital. When you zoom in, small textures may get lost or turn into noise. That is because the codec compresses the video a lot and sacrifices the tiny details to keep the file small. ProRes looks softer but more natural and more professional. Fine details stay intact and the whole image feels less like phone video. Some people like that super sharp look, but ProRes definitely looks more expensive. In the camera settings you can also choose Apple Lock. If you don't know what a lock profile is, I have the separate video about that, the link will be in the description. In short, many cameras have lock. Sony has S-Lock, Canon has C-Lock, Apple has Apple Lock. Lock gives you more dynamic range and more information in highlights and shadows, and it gives you more flexibility when you're color grading. Before you apply conversion LUT, lock looks flat and gray, but once you grade it, you can get a really nice image. So lock makes sense only if you're planning to color grade your footage. If not, it's better to shoot in HDR. For more control, I recommend shooting not in the default camera app, but in the Blackmagic app. You can set shutter, ISO, focus, choose the codec, and much more. I shoot in Apple ProRes 422, the quality is great and the files are smaller than 422 HQ. Now, what else is good about ProRes? First, editing. Even though the files are huge, editing ProRes is actually easier. HEVC is very compressed, so your computer works hard to decode it. ProRes is much less compressed, so the processor handles it more easily. Second, color grading. ProRes handles more color and brightness information, so you can push your image without getting artifacts. This becomes especially noticeable if you shoot in Apple Lock. Now, let's compare the iPhone to the camera. You can probably guess which is which. The camera gives you stronger background blur, a bit more dynamic range, and a deeper looking image overall. But the iPhone still looks really good, and in some shots it is honestly hard to tell where is the camera and where is iPhone. Another cool thing is OpenGate. When we record regular 16:9 video, camera basically crop part of the sensor, because we are using only the center, but the actual sensor is 4:3, the same format you get in photos, because photo use the whole sensor. OpenGate lets you recording without this crop, so you get a full 4:3 image, and that's great because you can easily adapt it later for vertical or horizontal video. Not many cameras can shoot OpenGate, so having it on a phone is very cool. In low lights, the iPhone starts to struggle. Even in ProRes at ISO 1600, the image gets noisy and autofocus may jump. On the camera at ISO 2000, the image is much cleaner and more detailed. That's simple because the camera has large sensor and the iPhone sensor is tiny. It doesn't get enough light, so even at ISO 1600, the phone footage already begins to fall apart. If you need to shoot in low light, use the main lens. It has an 1.8 aperture compared to f2.2 on the wide and 2.8 on the telephoto. The main lens get more light, so the image will look cleaner. What else are the downsides? The first one is the the size. If you shoot in ProRes, you will almost definitely need an external SSD. For comparison, 1 minute of standard footage shot in the default camera app takes around 170 megabytes. 1 minute of ProRes is about 2.7 gigabytes, almost 16 times more. Your storage will run out very fast, and even if you have 15-20 gigabytes free, the phone might not let you start recording in ProRes. The Blackmagic app helps with this, because it shows exactly how much time you have left before your storage is full. Another downside is the lens limitation. With the camera, you can change lens however you want. If you want more background blur, you open the aperture. If you want a telephoto look, you put on the telephoto lens. On the iPhone, you only have 3 focal lengths, and that's it. For wide and general shots, it's great. The tone and colors can look very similar to a real camera, especially with good color grading. But medium shot and close-up are not as impressive, because the small sensor just can't create the same depth. That doesn't mean the iPhone shoots badly. It's just physics. A tiny sensor can't give you the same depth as a full-frame camera. To sum things up, yes, there is a clear difference between standard recording and ProRes. If you plan to color grade and work with your footage in post, ProRes gives you more flexibility. But if you are shooting simple everyday clips just for your memories and you are mainly watching them on your phone, you probably won't notice much difference, and you likely don't need ProRes. The iPhone still can't replace a real camera. Interchangeable lens and the bigger sensor give the camera a different look, but the fact that you can shoot footage like this on your phone today, that's honestly very impressive. I also tested iPhone 17 Pro. It did get some updates and a couple of new features, but overall there isn't a huge difference compared to the 16 Pro. If you want a separate video about how the 17 Pro shoots, let me know in the comments, and also tell me what kind of content you want to see more of. Okay, that's it for now. See you soon.